Let's be honest for a moment. Is getting out of your favorite armchair starting to feel like a major life event? Or maybe you've noticed that a full grocery bag feels a lot heavier than it used to. You're not imagining it, and you are certainly not alone. Researchers have a name for this: sarcopenia. It's the natural, age-related loss of muscle. And the science, from respected institutions like the Mayo Clinic, shows that after age 50, we can lose 1% to 2% of our muscle mass every single year. By the time we're 80, that can add up to losing as much as half of the muscle we had in our prime. But here's the secret that doctors don't always have the time to explain in a 15-minute visit. This is not a one-way street. If you've been telling yourself, well, this is just what getting older feels like, I'm here today to respectfully and powerfully challenge that idea. In the next 25 minutes, we are going on a journey into your kitchen. We're going to uncover the top 10 foods that act as your personal toolkit to fight back against muscle loss, reclaim your strength, and protect your precious independence. The official term is sarcopenia, but what it really means is a loss of strength that can affect everything we do, from climbing stairs and twisting the lid off a jar, to playing with our grandkids and simply feeling stable on our own 2 feet. This gradual weakening is a major reason for falls, a loss of mobility, and the fear that can creep in about losing our independence. Our ambitious goal today is to arm you with a nutritional strategy to slow, stop, and in some cases, even reverse this process. To do this, we're not relying on fads or hearsay. We'll be drawing on solid research and guidelines from trusted American institutions you know and respect, like the National Institute on Aging, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the Mayo Clinic. To make this simple and actionable, we're going to count down the top 10 food groups that are scientifically shown to help combat muscle loss. For each one, we'll break down why it works in plain English. I'll share a quick story to make it stick, and I'll give you a simple action step you can take this week. We'll start at number 10 and work our way to the most powerful muscle-supporting food of all. And you'll definitely want to stick around for our top 3. One of them is a food many people eat before bed to help their muscles repair overnight. And number 1 is the food that contains the most powerful on-switch for muscle growth. And a quick but very important reminder, I am not a doctor. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice from your own physician, who knows your personal health history. Always consult your doctor before making any significant changes to your diet or exercise routine. All right, kicking off our countdown at number 10 are the tiny but mighty spark plugs for your muscles, nuts and seeds like almonds, pumpkin seeds, and cashews. While protein gets all the attention for muscle health, it can't do its job alone. Your muscles can't function properly without a mineral called magnesium. Think of it this way. If protein is the lumber you use to build a house, magnesium is the foreman and all the power tools. It's involved in over 300 critical reactions in the body, including muscle contraction, nerve function, and, most importantly for us, the process of building new protein from the food you eat. Without enough magnesium, your body struggles to use that protein effectively. It's like having a pile of good lumber, but no hammers or saws to put it together. Data from Harvard Health confirms magnesium's essential role in building proteins and strong bones, and in regulating muscle and nerve function. And you don't need much to make a difference. A single 1-ounce serving of pumpkin seeds can provide a whopping 40% of your daily magnesium needs, while almonds and cashews are also fantastic sources. I have a friend, David, who was getting terrible leg cramps at night and felt his muscles were always fatigued, even on days he didn't do much. He was eating a decent diet, but he wasn't paying attention to the small stuff. His doctor suggested he might be falling short on magnesium. He made a simple change and started snacking on a small handful of almonds in the afternoon instead of crackers. Within a few weeks, he told me he noticed a real difference. His energy levels felt more stable, and the disruptive leg cramps had subsided. So your action step here is simple. This week, buy a small bag of raw, unsalted almonds or pumpkin seeds. Keep them in a clear jar or a bowl in a visible spot on your kitchen counter. Your goal is to have one small, palm-sized handful as a snack at least 3 times this week. Now, it's important to mention that persistent muscle cramps, weakness, or twitching can sometimes be a sign of more than just a dietary shortfall. If these symptoms are severe or accompanied by numbness or tingling, that's a clear signal to have a conversation with your healthcare provider to rule out anything more serious. So, we've powered up our muscles' machinery with magnesium. Now let's talk about improving the delivery system that gets fuel and oxygen to those muscles. That brings us directly to number 9. Coming in at number 9 are the circulation boosters, leafy green vegetables like spinach, arugula, and kale, as well as beets. These vegetables are packed with a remarkable compound called dietary nitrate. When you eat them, your body has a clever way of converting these nitrates into a molecule called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the master traffic controller for your blood vessels. It sends a signal to the walls of your blood vessels, telling them to relax and whiten. This improved blood flow is fantastic news for your muscles. It means more oxygen and more nutrients can be delivered right where they're needed, helping your muscles work more efficiently and recover with less fatigue. The research here is truly exciting. Studies show that getting enough dietary nitrate from vegetables can significantly improve muscle function, especially in older adults. One fascinating study gave older adults a nitrate supplement with an amount equivalent to what you'd find in about a cup of cooked greens, and found it boosted their quadriceps power and speed. The researchers noted the effect was so significant it was functionally equivalent to acutely reversing the effects of several decades of aging. My Aunt Carol used to get winded just walking up the single flight of stairs in her home. She started following the advice from Johns Hopkins to eat more vegetables and made a point to have a big spinach salad with her lunch every day. She told me after a month it wasn't a miracle, but she noticed a definite change. She could get to the top of the stairs without feeling quite so breathless. She felt her body was just working a little better. Let's make this easy. This week, challenge yourself to add 1 cup of dark, leafy greens to your diet each day. It doesn't have to be boring. You can wilt a big handful of spinach into your morning eggs. Blend it into a fruit smoothie. I promise you won't even taste it. Or have a simple arugula salad with a drizzle of olive oil alongside your dinner. Of course, if you're on certain blood pressure medications or blood thinners like warfarin, you should always talk to your doctor before making a big change in your leafy green intake, as they also contain vitamin K, which could affect these medications. And any sudden shortness of breath or chest pain is, of course, a reason to seek immediate medical attention. We've covered the support crew for your muscles. Now let's get into the real building blocks, and we'll start with a plant-based powerhouse at number 8. At number 8, we have a food that was once a secret of the Andes Mountains, but is now a familiar staple in our supermarkets: quinoa. Quinoa is special for one very important reason. It's what's known as a complete protein. Here's what that means in simple terms. Your muscles are built from 20 different building blocks called amino acids. Your body can make some of them on its own, but there are 9 essential amino acids that you must get from the food you eat. Most plant-based foods, like beans or nuts, are incomplete. They're missing 1 or more of these essential 9. But quinoa is the exception to the rule. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, and in the right proportions, making its protein quality comparable to many animal proteins. It's like showing up to a construction job with a full and complete set of tools, ready to get to work. A single cup of cooked quinoa provides a solid 8 grams of this high-quality protein. along with 5 grams of beneficial fiber, which helps you feel full and supports good digestion. This complete protein profile makes it a fantastic option for muscle repair and growth, especially for those of us looking to incorporate more healthy, plant-based meals into our week. I remember my neighbor Bill, who decided to cut back on red meat for his heart health, but he was worried about getting weak and losing energy. He thought he'd have to eat complicated combinations of beans and rice at every meal to get what he needed. I suggested he try a simple swap. Use quinoa wherever he would normally use white rice. He found it was just as easy to cook, and it kept him feeling full and energized. He had peace of mind knowing he was getting that complete protein without having to overthink it. So your action step is to try a quinoa swap this week. If you would normally have rice or pasta as a side dish with one of your meals, cook up some quinoa instead. A great tip is to cook a big batch at the start of the week. You can use it for a few days. Add a scoop to your salads for lunch, mix it into a hearty soup, or serve it as a simple side dish alongside chicken or fish. Quinoa is generally very safe and well tolerated. However, it is naturally higher in compounds called oxalates than some other grains. If you have a history of kidney stones, particularly calcium oxalate stones, you might want to talk to your doctor before making it a daily staple. As always, the best advice is to listen to your body. Quinoa is a star, but it's not the only plant-based hero on our list. That brings us to some even more common and budget-friendly options at number 7. Coming in at number 7 are some of the most humble, affordable, and hard-working foods you can find in your pantry: beans and lentils. Just like quinoa, beans and lentils are true protein powerhouses. A single cooked cup of black beans, chickpeas, or lentils can pack an impressive 15 to 20 grams of protein, which is absolutely crucial for muscle repair and maintenance as we get older. Now, while most beans and lentils are not complete proteins on their own, this is a problem with a very simple and delicious solution. The old wisdom of pairing them with a whole grain, like having black bean soup with a side of whole wheat toast or lentil curry over brown rice, creates a meal with a complete protein profile. Think of it like a two-piece puzzle. Each part has the amino acids the other is missing, and together they create a perfect whole. Plus, their high fiber content is wonderful for digestive health, which is key for making sure your body can properly absorb all these great nutrients. My father, a man who grew up during the Great Depression, always used to say, "A pot of bean soup can get you through anything." He wasn't a nutritionist, but he was absolutely right. He lived a strong, active life well into his late 80s, and I'm convinced his weekly lentil soup and black bean chili had a lot to do with it. It was his way of getting affordable, muscle-supporting nutrition without ever knowing the complex science behind it. Let's make this action step incredibly easy. This week, buy 1 can of low-sodium black beans or lentils. You can simply rinse them and toss them into a salad, add them to a vegetable soup you're already making, or mix them in with some ground turkey for tacos. It's a simple, inexpensive way to boost the protein and fiber of a meal you already enjoy. For some people, a sudden increase in fiber from beans can cause some temporary gas and bloating. The key is to start slow, drink plenty of water throughout the day, and make sure the beans are well cooked. If you have a known digestive condition, like irritable bowel syndrome, it's always best to consult with your doctor or a registered dietitian for personalized advice. We've built a strong plant-based foundation. Now let's move up the ladder to one of the most perfectly packaged protein sources nature has ever designed. That's our number 6. At number 6, we have what many nutritionists call nature's perfect protein, the incredible edible egg. Eggs are often considered the gold standard for protein quality. In fact, The protein in an egg is so high quality and so perfectly balanced that scientists actually use it as the benchmark to measure the protein quality of other foods. A single large egg provides 6 grams of the best protein available, containing all 9 of those essential amino acids your body needs to build muscle. But the magic doesn't stop there. The yolk, which some people mistakenly throw away, is a nutritional treasure chest. It contains a vital nutrient called choline, which is essential for brain health and a healthy metabolism. And it's also where you'll find nearly half of the egg's total protein. And let's take a moment to clear up an old, persistent myth. For decades, we were told to worry about the cholesterol in egg yolks. But years of modern research have shown that for most healthy adults, the cholesterol you eat in foods like eggs has very little to no effect on the cholesterol levels in your blood. Major health organizations, including the American Heart Association, now agree that eggs can absolutely be part of a heart-healthy diet. In fact, for muscle health, eating the whole egg is far superior. One study found that athletes who ate whole eggs after a workout experienced significantly greater muscle growth than those who only ate egg whites. The nutrients in the yolk work together with the protein, making the whole food more powerful than the sum of its parts. I spoke with a woman named Shirley, who for years had been diligently ordering egg white-only omelets, thinking she was being healthy. She felt she was doing everything right but was still feeling weak and lacking energy. After her doctor gave her the all-clear, she started eating the whole egg again. She told me that not only did her breakfast taste infinitely better, but she felt more satisfied and had more sustained energy that carried her through the morning. She was finally giving her body the full package of nutrients it needed. So your action step for this week, if you're not already, try incorporating 2 whole eggs into your breakfast 2 or 3 times. Scrambled, hard-boiled, poached, however you like them. A couple of hard-boiled eggs also make a fantastic, portable, protein-rich snack that can save you from reaching for something less healthy in the afternoon. Now, while the advice on eggs has changed for the general population, it is important to follow your doctor's specific advice. If you have been personally told by your cardiologist to limit dietary cholesterol due to a specific genetic condition, or if you have type 2 diabetes and your doctor has given you specific limits, it's essential to follow that personalized guidance. Okay, let's take a quick breath. We're halfway through our countdown. So far, we've covered the importance of magnesium from nuts and seeds, the circulation-boosting nitrates in leafy greens, the complete plant protein in quinoa, the humble power of beans and lentils, and the gold standard protein in eggs. The common thread here is that building strength isn't just about one thing. It's about creating a whole supportive ecosystem in your body. Now, are you ready for the top 5? This is where we get into the real heavy hitters, the true game changers for your muscle health. Let's dive in. Cracking our top 5 is a delicious and powerful inflammation fighter. Fatty fish, with a special focus on wild-caught salmon. As we age, our bodies can sometimes develop a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. You can think of it like a tiny, smoldering fire inside your body that never quite goes out. This persistent inflammation is a major enemy of your muscles. It actively accelerates muscle breakdown and makes it harder for your body to build new muscle. Salmon and other fatty fish, like mackerel and sardines, are packed with a special type of fat called omega-3 fatty acids. These omega-3s act like the fire department for that internal inflammation. They work at the cellular level to help cool that inflammation, especially in your muscle tissue. So when you eat a piece of salmon, you're not just getting high-quality protein, you're actively protecting the muscle you already have from being broken down. You're playing both offense and defense at the same time. The science on this is very encouraging. The American Heart Association recommends at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week for its heart benefits. which are closely linked to its anti-inflammatory properties. And for muscles, one study in older adults found that 6 months of omega-3 supplementation led to significant improvements in muscle strength and an increase in thigh muscle volume. The researchers calculated that the benefit was equivalent to preventing 2 to 3 years of normal, age-related muscle loss. A gentleman in a senior fitness class I visited named Frank had been dealing with a lot of general achiness in his joints and muscles, which he just chalked up to old age. His daughter, who is a nurse, encouraged him to start eating salmon twice a week. He told me that after a couple of months, the biggest change he noticed was that the background noise of his aches had quieted down significantly. He felt less stiff in the mornings, which in turn made it much easier for him to get out and enjoy his daily walk. Your goal this week is to have one meal featuring a fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or even sardines. A simple 4-ounce fillet, which is about the size of a deck of cards, is a perfect serving. You can bake it with a little lemon and dill for a simple, elegant meal. And don't forget about high-quality canned salmon. It's a convenient and affordable way to make a quick, muscle-protecting salmon salad for lunch. If you are on blood-thinning medication, it's always wise to speak with your doctor before starting high-dose omega-3 supplements. Though eating fish as part of a healthy diet is generally considered safe for most people. And of course, if you have a known fish allergy, this one is not for you, and you can focus on the other foods on our list. Fighting inflammation is crucial for protecting muscle. But what about actively repairing and building it, especially while you sleep? That brings us to our surprising number 4. Coming in at number 4 is a classic food that's making a big comeback for a very good, very scientific reason: cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a true protein superstar, but it's a specific type of protein that makes it so unique and powerful for our purposes. About 80% of the protein in cottage cheese is a kind called casein. Unlike other proteins that digest very quickly, casein is known as a slow-digesting protein. The best way to picture it is to imagine it forming a gel-like substance in your stomach. This gel then releases its amino acid building blocks into your system slowly and steadily, over a period of several hours. This unique property makes it the perfect food to eat before bed. It provides your muscles with a sustained, trickling supply of repair materials all night long. This helps to prevent muscle breakdown while you sleep and gives your body the fuel it needs for overnight recovery. It's a fascinating concept. Not just what you eat, but when you eat it can make a huge difference. I read about a study involving older adults where researchers found that eating a protein-rich snack like cottage cheese before bed actually improved muscle quality and boosted metabolism overnight. It's like hiring a tiny, dedicated construction crew to work the night shift, repairing and reinforcing your muscles while you get your rest. So I invite you to try this experiment. On 2 or 3 nights this week, have a small bowl, about half a cup, of plain, low-fat cottage cheese about 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed. You can top it with a few fresh berries or a sprinkle of cinnamon if you like it plain. See if you notice a difference in how you feel in the morning. Perhaps a little less stiffness or a bit more energy. Of course, cottage cheese is a dairy product, so if you have a diagnosed dairy allergy or are very lactose intolerant, this won't be the right choice for you. Also, it's wise to be a label reader when you're at the store. Some brands can be high in sodium, so look for options that are lower in salt. The slow and steady power of casein is incredible. But what if you want that same dairy protein power with some added benefits? That leads us directly to our number 3. In our number 3 spot is a food that has rightfully taken over the dairy aisle for good reason: Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is a true powerhouse because it contains a dynamic duo of proteins, whey and casein. We just talked about casein, the slow-release protein that's great for sustained muscle maintenance. Well, whey is its fast-acting partner. Whey protein is digested very quickly, delivering a rapid flood of amino acids directly to your muscles. This makes it fantastic for jump-starting the muscle repair process, especially right after any kind of physical activity. And that doesn't just mean a hard workout at the gym. It could be after a brisk walk, a session of gardening, or an afternoon of playing with the grandkids. My neighbor Eileen loves to spend hours in her garden, but she often felt sore and completely worn out the next day. She started a new habit, having a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt with some fresh fruit as a snack right after she came inside from gardening. She told me it felt like it refueled her tank immediately, and she noticed she had much less of that day-after muscle fatigue. She was giving her muscles the immediate building blocks they were crying out for. Your action step is to swap out your regular yogurt or another daily snack for plain, low-fat Greek yogurt this week. It makes a great breakfast topped with some of those magnesium-rich nuts and a few berries, or it's a perfect post-activity snack to help you recover. The most important tip here is to be a careful label reader. Many flavored Greek yogurts are loaded with added sugar, which can work against your health goals. Always opt for plain and add your own fresh fruit for sweetness. Again, as a dairy product, this isn't for everyone with an allergy or intolerance. But if you can enjoy it, it's a fantastic tool. We're getting so close to number 1. The protein in Greek yogurt is fantastic. But our next food provides that same high-quality protein in a lean, versatile package that's a staple in healthy diets everywhere. Let's talk about number 2. Our runner-up, holding the number 2 spot, is the lean foundation of a muscle-healthy diet: skinless chicken and turkey breast. Chicken and turkey are the undisputed champions of lean, high-quality protein. A modest 4-ounce serving, about the size of your palm, can provide around 30 grams of protein. This hits the target amount that many experts suggest for a single meal to get the maximum muscle-building response. But here's the real key to why it's so high on our list. Chicken and turkey are incredibly rich in that all-important amino acid we've touched on, leucine. Leucine is the most powerful on-switch or ignition key for the process of building new muscle, a process called muscle protein synthesis. Think of it this way. As we age, our muscle's ignition can get a little sticky. It requires a bigger, more potent dose of leucine to turn the key and get the engine started. Chicken and turkey deliver that powerful dose of leucine, effectively sending a loud and clear signal to your muscles that says, "Okay, it's time to build." I think of a retired carpenter I know named George. He still stays active in his workshop every day. He knows that to build a sturdy table, you need good, solid wood, not flimsy particle board. He thinks of his meals the exact same way. He makes a point to have a solid, lean protein source, like grilled chicken or roast turkey, at either lunch or dinner. He calls it his good lumber, the high-quality material that keeps his own framework strong enough to keep doing the work he loves. So your action step this week is to plan to have a lean protein, like a skinless chicken breast or turkey cutlet, for at least 2 of your main meals. A portion about the size of your palm or a deck of cards is a great target. A simple tip is to roast a chicken breast or 2 on Sunday. You can have 1 for dinner that night and use the leftovers for healthy salads or sandwiches for the next couple of days. The key word here is lean. Preparing it by baking, grilling, or roasting is ideal. Frying it or eating it with the skin on adds a lot of unhealthy saturated fat that we want to avoid. And as with any healthy eating plan, variety is always key, so it's best to rotate it with other healthy proteins on our list. Chicken and turkey provide a fantastic source of that leucine on-switch. But there is one food that, when chosen carefully and eaten in moderation, packs an even more powerful punch of leucine and other critical muscle-supporting nutrients. It's time for our number one. And here we are. The number one food on our list for combating muscle loss, when chosen and used correctly, is lean beef. Lean beef takes the top spot because it is arguably the most potent, whole food source of leucine you can eat. Remember, we called leucine the master switch for building muscle. A 4-ounce serving of lean beef not only helps you hit that 30-gram protein target for a meal, but it delivers over 2.5 grams of leucine. That is the exact amount that research suggests is needed to overcome that natural, age-related resistance and powerfully stimulate muscle growth. It's the most effective way to flip that switch to on. But it's more than just the leucine. This is where it all comes together. Lean beef is also rich in highly absorbable iron to help fight fatigue, vitamin B12, which is critical for nerve function, and it's one of the best natural sources of creatine. Creatine is a compound that helps your muscles produce energy for short, powerful bursts of effort. The kind of effort you need for everyday tasks, like standing up from a low chair, lifting a grandchild, or carrying in the groceries. It brings together the master switch, the building blocks, and the energy to power the whole operation. I think of the classic advice that was often given to people who are feeling run down and weak. You need a good steak. There's real modern science behind that old wisdom. It's not just a feeling. When you eat a piece of lean beef, your body is getting a powerful, concentrated dose of everything it needs to rebuild and re-energize. It's like a multi-nutrient supplement delivered in the form of real, satisfying food. The key here is quality and moderation. Your action step is to consider having one meal this week with a 3 to 4 ounce portion of lean beef. Look for cuts that have loin or round in the name, like sirloin or top round, and be sure to trim any visible fat before cooking. Broil it, grill it, or pan-sear it rather than frying. And for a truly powerful meal, pair it with a big serving of those nitrate-rich leafy greens we talked about earlier. Now, this comes with a very important caution. Many health organizations, including Johns Hopkins, recommend limiting red meat for long-term heart health. This is not a license to eat a huge steak every day. This is about strategically using a small portion of lean red meat, perhaps once or twice a week, as a powerful tool in your muscle-building arsenal. If your doctor has specifically advised you to avoid red meat for any reason, you should absolutely follow that advice and focus on the incredible foods from number 2 to number 10 on our list. And there you have it, our top 10 foods to help you fight back against muscle loss. So as we've journeyed from nuts and seeds all the way to lean beef, I hope one thing has become crystal clear. Tackling muscle loss isn't about one magic food or a single pill. It's about creating a system for your health. It's about providing your body with the high-quality protein building blocks, flipping the on switch with leucine, fighting off the demolition crew of inflammation with omega-3s, and ensuring the whole worksite has power and good supply lines with magnesium and nitrates. The most empowering message I want you to leave with today is this. You are the chief executive of your own health. You are in the driver's seat. Age may present some new challenges, but it does not remove your power to make intelligent, deliberate choices every single day that can dramatically improve your strength, your energy, and your ability to live the independent, vibrant life you deserve. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 foods was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the idea of cottage cheese before bed, or the power of leucine in beef? Please, take a moment and leave a comment down below. I truly love reading them and learning from your experiences. If you found this deep dive valuable, and you want more no-nonsense, science-backed content to help you take charge of your health in your best years, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be good to yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.